Hi everyone, I'm Liza Weale from Gatehouse Admissions, and I wanted to provide some information on Harvard Business School's further consideration bucket. I want to go over what it is, who ends up in there, and then most importantly, what you can do if you find yourself in the further consideration bucket. So first off, what is the further consideration bucket? Where did it come from? Who uses it? And it's really just Harvard Business School that uses this designation. And it's used expressly in the round one decision timeframe. So what basically happens is when HBS is releasing its initial interview decisions, this happens in round one, either in late September or early October. And most people of that will hear a straight up no. Literally thousands of people will get, nope, we don't want to interview you. We are done looking at your application. Thank you very much, but we're going to pass on you for now. A few hundred or close to 1,000 will get that interview invitation, which is great. Kudos to you. But then there is some small number of candidates, of applicants to HBS that will hear this murky maybe, a further consideration. And what this is basically they're passing on the opportunity to extend an invitation to you to interview now, but they're not, saying we're no longer moving forward with this process with you, like they said to literally thousands of other people who hear a straight up no. For you, they are saying, we haven't made a final decision. We're going to look again at your application in late January or early February in tandem with us reviewing all the round two applicants and applications we receive at that time. And then we will make a decision at that point on whether or not to interview you. It's unclear how many people HBS puts into this further consideration bucket. We estimated somewhere between, say, 80 and to 100, 150, maybe even 200 people. It is actually a really prestigious place to be. I assure you, it means that the school is very interested in you. Again, otherwise, they just would have said flat out no to you. So if you are in this bucket, know that you are in good company. Know that HBS is really interested in you. But it can be a little frustrating and unclear of what you're supposed to do now. Again, you will get this message in early October, and then you're stuck waiting until the end of January or the beginning of February to hear if HBS will decide to move forward with you in the interview process. The good news is that HBS asks you for an update. So now I want to go into what can you actually do if you are on this further consideration kind of holding pen, if you will. And again, HBS will ask for an update that you will submit in mid-December. And really, this is their opportunity to let you sort of, even the playing field. If you think about it, round two applicants have had 3 or 4 more months of time to develop as candidates. And if HBS is going to now evaluate your candidacy anew in the round two pool, they want to give you time to sort of, get credit for those extra few months. So you will be able to provide a written update somewhere around, it depends on the year, 300 to 450 words, in about that ballpark. So it's not a lot of space, but they just want to know, if you have any updates for them. So what you need to be thinking about is, yes, you want to provide them updates. Absolutely. And the good news is HBS isn't changing its criteria. They're always looking for candidates that have strong academic chops and intellectual curiosity, have just an inclination towards leadership and initiative, and really good values, and just those character traits that HBS associates with leaders who are going to change the world. So first and foremost, what you can do is keep living a robust life, and also seeking ways to challenge yourself and develop yourself. So this is really where I don't want you to hold back from stepping up and taking ownership of an initiative at work, and really driving it to conclusion. I want you to take stock of what you're doing in the community or outside of your day job, so to speak, and finding ways, if there are ways to do more of that, and really perhaps even complete a discrete project or take on a discrete project to update them about. It's also important to think about your goals, your post-MBA goals. Are there things that you could be doing now that will get you better prepared for those post-MBA goals? There's an example of someone that we worked with a few years ago who wanted to break into operations within healthcare. She was at the time in private equity, and she worked hard during this period to find a startup that was in the healthcare space. It was a nonprofit. And so she was able to get some operational experience on the side by advising this company. But what it showed to HBS is that she was really committed to her goals and was willing to find ways to advance towards those goals, even outside of the workplace. So that's something that you can be doing as well. Notice that I didn't say go to HBS. You can. HBS is great. They offer tours, they offer classroom visits, although not at all times of the year. But it is not about pounding your chest or pounding the doors and telling HBS how much you love them. It really is not. They are confident at this point that you are very interested in them, and they're not looking for you to pander or lay it on excessively how much you love HBS. Again, you can certainly do those things, but that is not what they are evaluating here. So keep it with do it with a grain of salt. Do it so that you are better educated on how you can take advantage of HBS rather than trying to convince them that you love them, because that's just not a game any person can win. The second piece I would love to talk to you about is this idea of additional letters of recommendation. I would call out that HBS discourages this. They say this in their communication. They do not expect to hear from anybody else. So I would really caution you from asking anybody to go to HBS on your behalf or submit a letter, pick up the phone and call saying that they have to admit you. That can really be a knee-jerk reaction that we often hear from people that want to pull out all the stops and show HBS that they're really awesome and that they've got a lot of people that are ready to advocate for them. And again, I would be lying to you if I said it didn't happen. I think it does. But you just really want to tread lightly. The rules are you have 2 letters of recommendation. They've received those letters as part of the process. They've said expressly that they do not want to hear from more people. And so if you do choose to ask somebody, number one, it should definitely be an alumni or somebody who's associated with the school, but do so with, caution. The last thing you want to do is come across as someone who can't follow the rules or that is feeling a little bit over the top. That's not going to help your candidacy. It's actually going to hurt it. So really, my biggest advice, if you are in the further consideration bucket, stay positive. You absolutely have a chance to convert that application into an interview invitation. So really, my headline advice to you on what you really should be doing is working to make your candidacy as strong as possible via the strategies that we spoke about earlier in this video, really showing who you are as a leader, as a team player, as someone who can take initiative, and then writing an update about those things in an update letter that HBS gives you a chance to submit. I will just say one more thing about that letter. Don't be afraid to cover a few things. Maybe you're covering something in the community. Maybe you're covering something in the office that you did. Maybe you're covering some bit of research that you've done on HBS that gives you further conviction that it's the right place for you. You are tight on word count, but you can be strategic and really pack your update with a punch. So in any case, good luck on HBS's further consideration bucket. Please reach out to us if you need any more advice. We've got a lot of experience on coaching people through this process. And again, stay positive. A lot of those folks in further consideration will actually be in an interview status before too long. Thanks.